Hey guys, Voice of the Voiceless here, making another YouTube video, and this will be my top 10, it's mine, personal list, top 10 underrated pay-per-views of all time, or in my collection, as I probably won't have some that you guys will think of, but, this will be a fun video for me, as I want to do more of these lists, and if they get a lot of good feedback, a lot of views, I will do more of them, so, but first of all, I want to make an announcement. Like most of my videos always make an announcement because they're well in the beginning of the video, but I will be going to ROH's Death Before Dishonor day one, which will be in Milwaukee, which is an hour and a half away from me, at Turner Hall. And here's the envelope, ROH, and here's the tickets. It's fourth row. I've never been to an ROH or indie event, so let me guys know what I should be expecting or what I need to know, so I am up to date about my indie stuff. So it'll be really fun. I can't wait, and I want to go to more of these indie shows, especially like in the Milwaukee area. So that is that. Death Before Dishonor, which is in August, ROH event, Turner Hall in Milwaukee. So getting to the list, top 10 most underrated DVDs of all time. Mostly, I think really differently on a lot of stuff, and I have a lot of reasonings, so many of you guys will be thrown off by this list maybe, but it's a good list to me, so we'll start with number 10, and that is Royal Rumble 2000. Why I have this at number 10 is a great event, and a lot of people speak highly of this event, but I think people don't speak too highly of this, which they should. It is the best. I will tell you, it is the best pay-per-view of 2000. It is better than SummerSlam. It is way better than WrestleMania. It blows any other pay-per-view of 2000 out of the water. So, as 2000 rose up, it wasn't the... Fully Loaded was pretty good. And, Armageddon was pretty decent. But, and SummerSlam, of course, was really good. But, this is the best pay-per-view of 2000. Has probably one of my favorite matches of all time. One of the greatest matches of all time. Triple H vs. Cactus Jack for the WWF Championship in a street fight, but it also has the first ever tables match between the Hardys and the Dudleys, which is exceptional to the very least, one of the greatest table matches of all time. It also has a hilarious Miss Royal Rumble swimsuit competition, classic Attitude Era stuff. You guys will probably know what happens, but I could tell you a different time. It also has a very great Royal Rumble. It has that whole great atmosphere being in Madison Square Garden, and it's a great event, one of my favorites, actually. And it's number 10, not because it's a great... People agree it's a great event, but I don't think they agree that it's better than... It's better than what people already say how great it is. So, number 10... Oops. Number 10, Royal Rumble 2000. Next on the list, this is where little of it begins, because a lot of people hate on this event, and when I watched this event for the first time, I wasn't expecting a lot, and I watched them like, dang, this is a really good pay-per-view, or it's a very decent pay-per-view, and I can't believe people really spoke too poorly on this, and it is No Way Out 2012. This is definitely, a lot of people say this is the worst pay-per-view of 2012. It is definitely not the worst pay-per-view of 2012. I can name two or three that are worse than this one. It is a very underrated pay-per-view in my view because it has a lot of great matches. It has a great opener before the World Heavyweight Championship with Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler. One of the best matches on the card, one of the best matches of the year. A lot of you guys should check that out. It also has a great triple threat match for the WWE Championship, which is CM Punk, the champion, Daniel Bryan, and Kane. Very great. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan can put on great matches, and adding Kane it's that another dimension, which I really like. It also has another great match, Christian versus Cody Rhodes for the IC title. Great match. It has a number one contender match, which is not on the back, and it's the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team number one contender match with, I believe it was the Usos, Primetime Players, Primo and Epico, Justin Gabriel, and Tyson Kidd. And that was a really good match too. It also has a good nice comic relief of Santino and Ricardo in a tuxedo match. And the main event, it wasn't great by any means, but it was a little better than a lot of people are expecting, or it was completely what they were expecting, which isn't bad at all, because it is Big Show and John Cena, and it's a cage match, so... No Way Out 2012, number 9 on my list of top 10 underrated pay-per-views of all time. Number 8, another pay-per-view a lot of people don't really talk about, and that is Backlash 2005. This is a great event also. It has a tag team turmoil match, a great last man standing match between Benoit and Edge. It's sort of over the Money in the Bank. If you don't know the story, Edge basically stole the Money in the Bank briefcase as Benoit was reaching for it, and Edge just came behind him with the chair. That was a great story. It has a great opener for the IC title, Shelton Benjamin versus Chris Jericho, and then the two main events, which is Shawn Michaels and Hogan versus Hassan and Daivari. It's not a great match by any means, but it is very entertaining just to see Hogan and Michaels team up, and everyone knows where that story goes to, and it's a great entertainment. It's a great event, and obviously the big main event, Batista versus Triple H in their WrestleMania rematch. Batista is a champion. I would actually say it was a little better than their match at WrestleMania, so it's a great event. Definitely check this out if you have the network, or if you're going for the 2005 pay-per-views. You shouldn't get it for too expensive. I got this for $5, $4, so Backlash 2005. Great cover too, Triple H. Oh, sorry, I'm spinning around. I have a lot of 2005 pay-per-views. This will actually be I'll have 3 in a row, and this is the second of the 3. And this is No Way Out 2005. Another very underrated event that a lot of these no one really talks about, and they really should, to me. And it has a lot of great matches on it. There's probably 1 or 2 bad matches, the Booker T and Heinrich match I don't really care about, but it has a great, and the stupid rookie talent, or the Rookie Diva talent show, which is the dumbest. It is so bad you will think it's hilarious. Like, it's that bad. And then you feel awkward because you're like, really, why are they having these divas do this in front of 10,000 people or whatever? They're much of it. Does it say? No, but yeah, but it's in Pittsburgh, Kurt Angle's hometown, and he was in one of the main events. It was the number 1 contenders match for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 21, him and Cena. One of the best matches those two ever had. They have a lot of great underrated matches, in my view. It was an excellent match of the night. It also had a great tag team match of Ray and Eddie versus the Bashams. You see where that story with Ray and Eddie goes, and that's great to see. There's a great 6-man elimination match for the Cruiserweight title, which Cruiserweight matches always elevate the show to me. They really know how to put it on. Also, Undertaker versus Luther Reigns, a decent match. I enjoyed it for what it was. I sort of wish Luther Reigns would have gone somewhere, because he did really have a great match, or a good match with The Undertaker. And also, and last but not least, the main event. A lot of people thought this was going to suck. It was awesome, in my view. It was Big Show versus JBL for the WWE Championship in a barbed wire steel cage match. Just everything about this match. JBL being the underdog, Big Show being the monster in the cage. And then, of course, how JBL escaped from underneath the ring. If you guys ever seen that, that's a great spot. But definitely, I love this show. It's No Way Out 2005. One of the better shows of 2005. What is that? 10, 9, 8. That was number 7, so. Next, we got number 6, and that is Survivor Series 2005. This has a special place in my heart. You see it's really beat up. This is the first DVD I ever bought. I bought this in 2006, I think. I had to be 9 years old, so this is one of my favorite events. And I think it's very underrated because, again, it's a Survivor Series no one talks about. And it's really beat up because I probably in the course of 8 years I've probably watched it. I've had to have watched it 30 times. So, but this had a lot of great matches. Great opener: Benoit versus Booker T in number 1 of their Best of 7 series for the U.S. title. Another great Cena Kurt Angle match but it's for the WWE Championship, and it's a great story with Daivari and Eric Bischoff. It has Ric Flair versus Triple H in a last man standing match. Another excellent match. I wouldn't put it above their steel cage match at Taboo Tuesday, but it was very close. These two never will put on a bad match, even if they tried. And then great main event. One of my favorite stories of all time. It's the Raw versus SmackDown storyline, and this is just excellent. One of the most underrated Survivor Series tag matches of all time. It was just a good way to finish the great story, even though they would have a Tuesday night SmackDown, I think 2 days later, which was sort of Raw. They carried on the Raw vs. SmackDown story with Batista and Kane and Big Show, but this is a great event, and of course the end, Undertaker returning, going after Randy. So, Survivor Series 2005, number 6 on my countdown. Number 5, we get one of my only one of my few WrestleManias one of my only WrestleManias that I have on its own DVD that's on the countdown, and that is WrestleMania 20. I love this event too. It's very underrated. It doesn't say the card on here, but I'm gonna try to remember it. I had a decent opener, Big Show and Cena for the U.S. title. It had a great underrated WrestleMania match, Chris Jericho versus Christian. Good Cruiserweight Open, the really good 3-on-2 handicap match, Evolution versus The Rock and Mick Foley, aka The Rock and Sock Connection. Undertaker obviously becoming the dead man again against Kane. If you guys hate it, love it, or hated the Goldberg Lesnar match, it was a big match at the time, and I give it credit that those two, when they were leaving the next day, those two put on a match. So, and then they had 2 great tag team title matches. Both of them were four teams. Great entertainment. Of course, the 2 main events, the WWE title match, Angle versus Eddie Guerrero. Great matches on WrestleMania Rewind. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. Great, and of course the triple threat match, for the World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit. Just my view, the greatest triple threat match of all time. So, let me guys know what you think. Your favorite triple threat match, or this match specifically. So, definitely, and the great moment at the end with Eddie and Benoit celebrating with the titles. Just one of my favorite WrestleManias of all time, and it should be up there as one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, and that's WrestleMania 20 from Madison Square Garden in 2004. So, that's number 5 on my countdown. I got 4 more left, and these will be a little bit shocker. See what you guys think. Number 4, Judgment Day 09. What? No one talks about this at all. People say it's an average, or it's a forgettable pay-per-view, but in my view, it had a lot of great matches on it. It had a great I would say there was only 2 bad there was 1 bad match on here, and that was probably CM Punk versus Umaga. So, but this had Morrison versus Shelton Benjamin, which was a great impromptu match. Oh, and Cena versus Big Show was a bad match. But also had Rey Mysterio versus Chris Jericho in their first match of their 3-match series. Awesome match, but it was overshadowed by Extreme Rules and The Bash. Also a great rematch for the ECW title, Christian versus Jack Swagger. Very underrated, even though it ended in a DQ, the WWE title match with Orton and Batista. I just love this match because it sold the story perfectly. Orton didn't want to face Batista at all. He had nothing to do with him, so he kept on trying to get himself DQ'd or running away, and Batista just... It was... For what it was, the DQ ending eventually, it was a good match. I loved it. And then the main event, Edge versus... Jeff Hardy for the World Heavyweight Championship. Just an excellent match. I think one of the best matches those two had together, one-on-one. So, that's my index finger. But definitely Very underrated pay-per-view. Guys, definitely check this out. You can get this cheap. I got this for $4. Judgment Day 2009. Number 3 on my countdown. A lot of people do not like this pay-per-view at all. They just completely hate it, and I love it. And that is Judgment Day 2003. Another Judgment Day. And a lot of the matches weren't great, but it was a great show altogether. Like, just watching it, you had a fun time. When I first watched this, I had a blast watching this. Then I ended up watching it again with my friends, and they enjoyed it. And they're not really wrestling fans, so it was very. They just loved it just because it was a great show. Because the show had everything. There wasn't a normal one-on-one match at all in this card. It started with a great 6-man tag with Benoit, Rhino, and Spanky, aka the Brian Kendrick versus FBI and Cena. It actually had a decent. It was not too good, but it sold a story. Scott Steiner and Test versus La Resistance. La Resistance coming in as the evil French team. Excellent. Probably one of the matches of the night. Team Angle versus Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri for the tag team titles in a ladder match. Excellent. It had a battle royal on this show, which again just giving the fans variety. As for the vacant Intercontinental Championship, very great. Especially the ending with the story of Christian's heelness. It was fun. The Bikini Challenge, which one of the high points of the show, because it's Tori Wilson. You can't hate Tori Wilson or Sable. Ooh, yeah, Sable too. And a Bikini Challenge. It was. I can just keep going on and on about this show because I love it. Okay, Mr. America, aka Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper, not that great, but it's just another match they're adding. The two legends, just the variety, two legends going off one last time, even though Hogan was under a stupid gimmick. Triple H versus Kevin Nash. The referee ended up getting knocked out, but you just got a wild brawl that carried on the storyline for their Hell in a Cell match the next month at Bad Blood. And there was some good action too, and plus Nash jackknifed Triple H through a table, which was sick. Like, Triple H probably it had to do something to his neck. It looked really bad. Painful, that is. And a great Divas women's match, for God's sake. It had Fatal 4-Way, Trish Stratus, Jacqueline, Victoria, and Jazz. Wasn't better than the Triple Threat match at WrestleMania, but it was absolutely excellent. And the stretcher match between Brock Lesnar and Big Show, the crowd was hot. Just everything about this match worked between two guys of that size, with Mysterio coming in at the aid of Lesnar against Big Show, and Brock Lesnar using the forklift. Just an excellent. Sorry if you hear that noise back there. Just an excellent event. Stone Cold comes out, and there's this backstage storyline with Stone Cold and Bischoff where they're in the back and Stone Cold's getting Bischoff all full on food and getting him drunk, and then he ends up puking on the crowd, it was sick, but it was probably the better puking segment than the one a couple of weeks ago on Raw, so definitely a fun event. Check this out if you have the network, or you can find this pretty cheap on Amazon or your local store that sells used WWE DVDs. I think I had to get this for $5. It wasn't that bad. 2003, so really, if you want to find cheap old pay-per-views, definitely 2003 is the way to go. You can get those. You can get them each for under $10. So definitely go for that. Number 2 on the countdown. There's a story behind this one. I stopped watching WWE in 2011 because I was being a mark and I got tired of the PG stuff, and I didn't really have enough time with high school too. But I still watched I still got DVDs. I still collected, and I still watched DVDs. And was I just wasn't into the present program. But I got this, and I didn't want to, but the thing about my DVDs is I didn't want to get any DVDs in the PG era, believe it or not. And, because I just thought it was terrible, and I really didn't hate it, the PG era. Just, when people say they absolutely hate it, just stop. The storylines are more creative, and the wrestling is actually better than the Attitude Era. You guys really, the Attitude Era did not really have the greatest wrestling. I'm just going to be blatantly honest. So, but this event I got for $5 on DVD. This got me back into wrestling in itself, and it was a PG era event, and it got me into wrestling, and that is Present Wrestling, Elimination Chamber 2011 with Edge on the cover. This is an excellent, excellent event. Definitely had a good opener between Kofi and Alberto Del Rio. Had a great, probably one of the matches of the year if you take out Punk and Cena, and that was the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match for the World Championship with Edge, Mysterio, Big Show, Kane, Drew McIntyre, and Wade Barrett. One of the best Elimination Chambers of all time. Had a great WWE title match with The Miz and Jerry the King Lawler. Like, Jerry Lawler still put on great matches, and this match, it was limited, obviously, but these two told a great story, and everyone thought Jerry was going to win the title. It was that close, and if you want to see a better match between those two, definitely check out, if you can find it, their TLC match on Raw they had a few months back. But and then the only bad match, it was absolutely terrible, but I'll give it a pass. It was the tag team title match between Santino and Kozlov versus the Core, Gabriel and Slater. This match is absolutely terrible, but on a pay-per-view with great Elimination Chamber matches, the great title match, and the decent opener, I'll let it slide. And the main event for the number one contenders for the Raw Elimination Chamber, Cena, Orton, Morrison, R-Truth, Punk, and Sheamus. This just was an excellent match. Morrison alone proved that he was a main event guy, but just with the amazing spots he did, and he should have been added to the WWE title match at WrestleMania 27. In my view, it would have been the triple threat match. It would have made 27 way better than it was. But also it told the story between Punk and Orton with that spot where Orton basically jumped Punk out of his chamber and then hit him with an RKO right away, and he couldn't get the pin, or something like that happened. But it was a great event. Definitely underrated because no one talks about it, and it being a PG era event. And that is Elimination Chamber 2011. One of the best, probably the second best pay-per-view of 2011 behind, second or third behind Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. If you want to throw in SummerSlam in front of there, but I think it was a little bit better than SummerSlam. Last but not least, one of my second favorite event of 2003. I'll give you a hint. I liked it more than Survivor Series, and that is not better than 19, but that is Vengeance 2003 with that sick cover with Undertaker punching it. But this was a great event with great matches. You get the best of both worlds: the entertainment, the storylines, and the great matches. It had a great the opener between Benoit and Guerrero, probably the best match they had in WWE. They got a lot of time. I think it was 20-25 minutes for the US title. Just great technical wrestling, great stuff. It had a funny storyline, the indecent proposal match with Gunn and Noble. You weren't expecting much, but at least they gave those two guys a story. It was really fun to watch, just the whole storyline, Noble wanting to get to sleep with Tori. The APA Invitational, very hilarious. The bar fight. If you guys haven't seen this, please do. It is absolutely hilarious. Just with, I think, Brother Love was in it. The Easter Bunny. Just the most random fucked up shit you'll ever watch in your life. It was hilarious, and the action was great. A great tag team match, the world's greatest tag team versus Kidman and Rey Mysterio. Excellent. That spot where Mysterio hit a top rope Hurricane Rana, and he got the pin. It was probably the closest 3 count you'll ever see, and literally everyone in the arena thought they won the titles. I had a great cat fight between Stephanie McMahon and Sable, probably one of my favorite women's matches of all time. It was awesome, especially from Stephanie and Sable, two women who don't really wrestle a lot, especially Stephanie. Undertaker versus Cena, great, excellent match, and it was a 3-match main event, but it's the only pay-per-view match you'll see out of those two, and it was just excellent. It actually got Cena more over as a more liked guy, as he took it to Taker, and obviously Taker got his respect, as that was the story. Zach Gallen versus Mr. McMahon. It was a painful match to watch, as Zach Gallen, as everyone knows, is he's the one-legged wrestler against McMahon, but he fights and fights, and he kicks out of everything, and he makes McMahon bleed like crazy, which it's probably the most blood I've ever seen in a match, especially for McMahon. But it was excellent. And another great triple threat match. Probably one of my top 5 triple threat matches for sure. For the WWE title, Lesnar versus Big Show versus Angle. Angle came back, and Lesnar was the champion. It set up their feud with Lesnar's heel turn, and it was an excellent triple threat match, and it perfectly put the exclamation point, capped up the night for this event, which was in Denver, Colorado. Vengeance 2003. Check it out, please. It is an event it'll blow you out of the water for a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. One of the best pay-per-views of 2003. So, but that is my list. Tell me what you guys think. Is it controversial? Is it different? Do you guys think is just whatever you guys think of it? Comment what you guys think. Should I do more of these lists if I get a lot of good views or feedback? Definitely go for it. Like this video. Make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.